Two, one.
And welcome to the Glacially Musical Pouredcast. It is beer, metal, swearing, and a side of vinyl. I, of course, am Nick Cameron, the mastermind of Glacially Musical, who's run out of ideas. I am joined by the man, the myth, the legend, the sunset shimmer to my twilight sparkle, the man every pony knows, Keefe Chakas.
How's it going?
Weird. It's going fucking weird.
It's going weird.
Just for the record, everyone who's checking in for the first time, because this is Motley Crue, as the Randy Razorblade said in Year and a Half Left Metallica. Thank you very much. If you are new, so here's the reality of the situation: beer check, vinyl check, news, system of the down, whatever. I'm in a weird mood, so good luck, everyone else. But so if you don't want to hear anything other than us discussing Motley Crue, skip ahead about 20, maybe 30 minutes today. I'm now going to beer check in my Four Hands brewing pint glass, which I acquired for free at Steve's Hot Dogs.
When you say acquired,
the last Thursday night at Steve's Hot Dogs of every month is Keep the Pint Glass. Steve's Hot Dogs is, of course, owned by Steve Ewing, formerly of The Urge, famous Star Wars fan. And I'm going to tell you what kind of amazing restraint I showed at his old place, which was on my old street. I was a block and a half away. I could walk there before he moved into bigger digs. There was a Return of the Jedi story record that I did not steal. I did once pull it down off the shelf to see if there was a record in there. And there was. So I am drinking this week a Charleville Optimistic IPA, 6.5% ABV. My father-in-law, my late father-in-law, Bob, and I were both big fans of Charleville Brewing. It is a rural Missouri brewery, and the Optimistic is just delightful. Actually, I have not had it in a number of years. So check out my pour.
objectively, optimistic is a fantastic name for a beer.
It is, isn't it? And pour.
That is a really good pour. My pours have been terrible ever since just just since we went to the glasses here. I was better off just drinking it from a beer and not having my ego destroyed every week that I suffer from poor beering issues. But anyway, I have once again a Dale's Kolsch in a can. Dale's
It's
Pale
not a
Ale.
Kolsch. It's not Kolsch.
Sorry, it's a pale ale. They have a Kolsch. It is a pale ale. They sell
I'm
the
a
Kolsch at my bar. That's my corner bar.
I'm a big fan of Dale's. So if you haven't tried it, get their Old Chub. Had to stop talking. I saw the pop coming.
There it goes.
Get their Old Chub
I-
Scotch Ale.
I've
It's
had
amazing.
I've had the old tub. Pouring, 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 gently, gently pouring. It's the pouring song.
Did you hear the burp?
I did hear the
Ah,
burp.
crap.
That's
I tried
okay. I mean, all right, that's better.
That's pretty.
That's
That's
a
a good
decent-
pour.
Decent pour for a change. Cheers, my friend.
Cheers, Keefe. This is one of my favorite times of the week. It's a nice time to blow off steam, and I got steam to blow off.
I hear that, brother.
You want to go first on the vinyl check? You want me to go first?
I have a feeling we're gonna overlap on the vinyl check. Let's find out.
All right, you go. I'll go first then.
You go first.
All right. I did pick up recently a Johnny Cash Gunfighter Ballads. Whoa.
It's not funny, but it's kind of funny. Hopefully, the
Jesus.
record's in one piece.
It's fine. It's fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are professionals. Don't try this at home.
Johnny Cash Gunfighter Ballads. I did not expect that. Usually it's in a little pouch in the back, but I have not opened up the sleeves yet. So I had to buy a new box of Mylar sleeves. Last Gunfighter Ballad. It's got such amazing tracks as... Well, shit. None of this on here anyone has heard of.
Well, try me because I'm a big casual file.
I Will Dance With You, The Last Gunfighter Ballad, Far Banks of Jordan.
That I know.
With June.
Yep.
Riding on the Cotton Belt, Give It Away. Pretty sure that it's not the same track as the Chili Peppers.
What I gotta get to you. That's how he would sound doing that one.
Shubba lubba 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 lubba.
Johnny Cash never chubba loved.
He never chubba loved. You're So Close to Me, City Jail, Cindy, I Love You. Who the hell is Cindy?
June's gonna be pissed.
I'm gonna be real pissed.
Gonna stab him.
Ballad of Barbara. And the silver-haired daddy of mine.
So I know like two of those.
I know none of them.
Two of those.
And I've listened to the
He did a whole, him and June did a pilgrimage to Israel after he got clean and sober the first time, after jail and drugs, and he was deeply moved by his visit to the Holy Land and Jerusalem, as a very devout religious guy, and he wrote a lot of songs. A lot of faithful songs. He was already kind of a faith-based guy, But anyway, we'll save that for another time.
We'll probably do a Johnny run, but it's gonna have to be weird.
I mean,
but I picked that one up. It was a $5 on Father's Day last week. I was told to be out of the house. I found myself accidentally on a place where I could buy records, as I do. Now, the next record, as I'm sure you're expecting, Fireball Ministry. And to longtime listeners of this podcast, meaning 2 weeks ago, we finished up our run on Fireball Ministry, and I loved them all. Loved them all. I loved all of them. And just being in the fact that I'm not in the most spectacular of financial places, I could not purchase every single one, so I purchased the cheapest one they had on the run we did. This one was $15 on Bandcamp. It's also a great record. I mean, this is the self-titled, Fireball Ministry, self-titled, great record, really good kind of doom metal. If you are a fan of The Obsess or Cable, I mean, I'm going to shut up because we talked about Fireball Ministry for 3 episodes. So.
Riffs for days. Big fan.
This is also my favorite of the guitar solos of the Fireball Ministry records we did. And I'm probably going to buy the second one if I can.
It's running out. I just got one. And I got the most recent one.
Shocker.
Good stuff. Good stuff when we can support the bands we like, not just with our words and our pods, but on pockets.
And just for the record, in the past, I have done vinyl reviews where I have been given vinyl records. This is not about a review. This is about me going, damn, that's a good record. Here's a couple of bucks.
None of that will happen with this next run, I guarantee it. If you don't have them already, you're probably not going to go buy them.
I have to say, last thing, and I'll shut up about my vinyl check. When I purchased this, because everyone knows I moved. I talked about the move ad nauseum, at length, ad infinitum. I'm sorry. You're going to hear more. But I forgot to update my Bandcamp address. And I didn't notice. So I get the email. It's shipping to your old place in Tower Grove East. I emailed them and I said, hey, I'm sorry. It's my fault. Can you change this? If not, when it comes back, I will pay you to ship it again. And they took care of it. Emily from Fireball Ministry totally took care of me, and I got it. And I am thrilled. It is a great pressing. I have listened to and cleaned it. Great record. Now that I have it, everyone go buy it.
Word. They're actually running out of those vinyls.
They are running low. They're
running low.
The sands of time are running low. Sorry, you check, son.
All right. I thought you were going to check one of these, so I have finally got, waiting for the longest time, my Old Man Wizard, Kill Your Servants Quietly album.
Look, I'm not saying I have it. I'm not saying I don't. I'm saying maybe I'm not checking every vinyl I have.
Yeah, of course, and nor am I.
Fair.
So, but yeah, this is probably the final Old Man Wizard album, at least for a long time, if not ever. Um,
Great, great record.
yeah, great record, great band. Francis, we love you. Dread Pirate Francis Roberts, as I like to call him, because you have to. And yeah, man. And he has other stuff that he's working on and other projects, and you can live stream with him and watch him make creepy soundtrack horror music and synthwave stuff because he's just dope like that, dungeon synth and things.
And check
And
out his YouTube channel. Subscribe to that. I am a subscriber. And if you are on YouTube, subscribe to us. We would
Yeah.
appreciate it. We are small time creators. And look, our goal is to become millionaires. This is not it. But if you could help us become $400 heirs. Sorry.
yeah,
Again,
that'd be
I'm
amazing.
really loose this week because fuck it.
I hear you, bro. I hear you. So beer
Look,
check.
it's Motley Crue. Fuck it.
Yeah, beer check, vinyl check. Hey, if they don't care, we don't care. Beer check, vinyl check, news. I'm trying to think if I have any news that our audience needs to hear about. I will say, because we cannot go one episode without mentioning the greatest band ever, Metallica. They finally, after coming back a year straight of shows, they have finally had to cancel a show due to COVID from the band members. They are in tour in Europe all summer. Not all summer. They're on tour in Europe for June and part of July before they come back to the States to do Lollapalooza. A member of the band, don't know who, has contracted COVID. They played Hellfest, they played Copenhagen, and they were headlining in the Netherlands at another place, and they canceled right before they played. The festival promoter offered a partial refund because they didn't play, and still held the festival. Other bands were playing. Nobody Metallica level, but pretty cool. And I thought that was unique and cool because, we are in changing times and financially constraining times, so that was really cool. And I don't know how long they're going to be incapacitated because if somebody's got it, could be a mild case and test negative right away. Could be severe. Don't know. Don't know who's exposed. It's rough.
When I had it, as you may recall, it was exceedingly mild, triple vaxxed. So, good vibes headed their way.
Yeah.
I
Those guys are not young. You know what I'm saying? Just like
exactly.
they're.
James is 15 years younger than my late mother. So,
yeah,
just terrifying to think about.
Yeah, they're all. Yeah.
But I have a few news items. Just going to say it's going to get heavy, and I apologize. Let's start off with the lightness. To no one's surprise, I am sure, Gene Simmons announced today as we record this that they are going to add 100 more cities to the End of the Road tour. Follows it up with, there's no blueprint. We've never retired before. Now, one might question if the farewell tour was a retirement tour. However, there was no intent on retiring because 2 weeks after the tour ended, Ace Frehley was handed the contracts for the next tour, which, as we all know, he did not do.
I think less would be better for them. Less is not more here. Like, more is not more. Less would be more. They are going to do less quality. They're going to miss shows. Paul is going to strain his voice worse than it already is. They are going to rely more on tapes and things. Also, I'm going to jump in and share only about this tidbit here. Gene also said in another interview today that Ace and Peter don't have what it takes to do Kiss anymore. Now, Peter is older and had cancer and has been semi-retired.
And knee surgery 2 weeks or like 2 months ago.
Yeah, yes, that's probably right. Peter could not go on the road right now and do 100 gigs or 200 gigs in the next year and a half. No.
Even at his farewell shows, he didn't even play the drums the whole
barely
time.
played, yeah. But Ace has been touring. I'm not saying he's been good, but he has been touring. He can play. He can probably play rings around everybody in that band.
He is at least as good as Paul Stanley.
At least, like
That's a low bar.
now maybe
Low
with
bar.
you're asking Ace to put on the makeup every night and all that, and kind of follow the Kiss rules and Gene and Paul's lead, which Ace has never wanted to do really. Yes, he probably would fail at that, but like saying he can't come on stage and do Kiss every night, he could do only Kiss. Kind of almost only does Kiss every night plus the covers.
Kinda.
Kinda, sorta, yes.
He does 2 songs that aren't Kiss tunes a night.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it.
So, like, to say that he can't do it anymore is ludicrous, and I will say
Well,
no
you
more
know
about this
what?
topic.
Gene Simmons always has to insult Ace Frehley in order to venerate whatever he's doing at that moment. That is always, for some reason, the move. All right, now we're gonna take this down way low, and then we're gonna get happy again. Kinda. We'll see. So here comes some. Just for the record, we record in advance. So this, by the time you hear this, this news is not news. But as of today, the sentence for R. Kelly, and we're going to get seriously trigger warning-y right about now. So R. Kelly's sentence for sex trafficking, taking minors over state lines for purposes of illegal sex acts, and way more that I'm going to stop talking about, came down today. He has been sentenced to 30 years in prison. And thank fuck that finally someone in power, a celebrity, has really had to take a fall for their depravity. And the irony is not lost on me for the depravity we're going to be speaking about for the next couple of weeks. However, this is way worse than that. And it also turns out his legal troubles are just beginning. He has federal cases. He has state cases in Illinois, Minnesota, and I believe Wisconsin. The Illinois case dates back to his 2009 trial for pissing on a minor. Apparently there was some tampering, so they're finally, hopefully, going to get him on that. So good fucking luck, you son of a bitch. You will never hear me say a quality thing about anybody who commits a sex crime. So good luck. Now, if you've been wondering why we have not mentioned anything about the decision of Roe versus Wade being overturned, again, I will point out it's because we record behind. By the time you hear this, most likely you will be angry, tired, exhausted, all those things, and I am with you. I am a strong abortion rights activist. Say abortion. It's fine. Whatever your choice is, whatever reason you have for having an abortion is your reason, your choice. It's your body. It's your business. I believe I speak for Keefe when I say we are very disappointed in the Supreme Court lying about their stances and overturning 50 years of case law and precedent. But as I saw Nico case on Friday, as we recorded this, the day it was overturned, and she had a woman from Missouri, abortion rights, speak before and said, say abortion, support the women in your lives. Personally, in this, I have had at least 4 or 5 women that have been in my life or are in my life tell me their rape stories. And I'm happy they're comfortable enough to tell me these stories. And I have been a strong advocate for women's rights. I have been a volunteer for women's violence against women organizations and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to go deeply into that, but regardless, there are many reasons to have an abortion. They are all valid. They are all okay. I support you. I will always support you. This fight is not over. We will win. We will get it back. It's going to take a minute, but we're going to get there. And I'm with you. I know Keefe is with you. But that is all I'm going to say about that on this podcast. Like Nico Case said before, after the activist spoke and before she started singing, we are here for joy. They will not take away my joy. Do not let them take away your joy. And that is what I'm going to say to you. This is a joyful podcast, except when the music sucks. and even more so then because I drink harder. But we will win. We will win. We will win.
Yeah, Missouri is affected, right? Missouri is one of those states.
Missouri is affected, however.
Were they a trigger state? Like a literally...
Trigger state, yes.
Son of a bitch. Okay. Yep.
Is what it is. Is what it is, and we will win because they can't beat us.
Yep.
70% of this country disagrees with the decision.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get there. And with that, let's move on to a poor decision on my part.
No, well, I mean, we are historians and musicologists, if nothing else. So I think you're going to have, it's like the facts of life. You take the good, you take the bad, you take them all. And there you have Motley Crue.
Well, I feel like I'm Mrs. Garrett this week giving the lesson. So,
Joe, don't listen to Motley Crue, Joe.
Blair, Motley Crue, they use cocaine, just like your boyfriend.
That isn't, yeah, like we are, everyone's turning off at this point in the podcast.
Like and subscribe, people.
Like and subscribe and hear other things we do that are less grating. Still, that being said,
so, I'm sorry,
Crue,
go ahead.
Where do you want to start?
Let's
this is the beginning of our series. 80s Crue.
80s Crue.
The only good Crue.
What?
I mean, do you care about, like, okay, like, who, you know, like, I don't want to name check albums, but, like, I love Karabi. That album's good. It's not great. It's good. It was a great change.
Listen to the Department of Metal Antiquities to hear my full...
okay.
No, actually, what I learned on that episode when I sat down to listen to that whole record again, it is a lot longer than it needs to be.
Yeah, of course. They were trying to prove something. And Saints of Los Angeles, which they wrote almost none of, is solid. Some of it's good. They didn't write any of it.
It's reasonable.
For their age and their gauge, it was all right. But
Generation Swine is an interesting record because John Corabi and Vince Neil are both on it,
which is weird. But this 80s Crue is the classic Crue, the Crue people remember, the Crue of our childhood, the Crue of our teenagehood. There was an entire gang of dudes at my horrible junior high school. I mean, like, so, I came of age in the early 80s. I'm a couple of years older than Nick. And, but I came of age, like, my rock and metal, real true, because, like, everything before that, to me, even Maiden and Priest was classic rock, because that's the environment I grew up in. We talked many times about New York radio in the 70s and 80s. I probably should do a longer thing on that myself at some point. But,
yeah, I have nothing to add there.
83, 84, 85, 86, when Crue is really ascending.
That era is, Crue is... They're on the precipice of becoming Led Zeppelin 2.
Humongous superstar guys. Yeah, like they're already like a humongous hit band at that point.
They had Led Zeppelin 2 in their sights.
Yeah, but I would also say, like, at that point, while everybody around me was like Motley Crue, Rat, Poison, 80s Kiss, I was already like, no, dude, Van Halen and Def Leppard.
Just going to point out a couple of years in 1983 between Keithy and myself matters a lot. Because in 1983, I'm like, oh my God, Quiet Riot is great. The dude is metal.
They were.
They weren't great in 84, but for more information, see our published works about Quiet Riot. Yeah. But let's the reason why we're talking about this is to be part of the wave, as it were. A rising tide raises all ships. And right now, Motley Crue is on their... What the hell was that?
I cleaned my can with the glass because we're fully into the Crue, and I need the rest of this beer into my glass.
Oh, there we go. I got some. Okay, so Motley Crue is reuniting. It's taken 2 years to make this happen. They are reuniting based off of the Netflix miniseries. Was it a miniseries or a movie?
A movie. So actually, I'm gonna go with this.
You go ahead.
This is my. I don't want to steal your thunder because you are gonna run this series and you're gonna run this episode.
Yeah,
man, you made your bed. You're gonna lie in it. You made the cardboard box. You're gonna roll in it. And,
that's fair.
So, here's what I think happened. Motley Crue famously dissolved, signed a contract to never reunite. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. This is our farewell tour. The tickets were astronomical. The performances were not good. I saw one, not good.
I got mine on Groupon. My wife, who wanted to go to see Motley Crue, who we have a record. She has a Motley Crue record.
Had she never seen them?
No, we had seen them.
Okay.
From the 80s, 2 songs in, she goes, Nick, I want to leave.
Great.
Alice Cooper was amazing, just for the record.
Of course he was.
I mean, it's Alice Cooper.
So they go to retire, and Vince has a solo career. Mick is kind of ill.
Solo career is an interesting turn of phrase.
Well, I'm just saying, he thinks he has a solo career. Nicky has 6 a.m., which is now defunct. Tommy has records he puts out every couple of years, some rap metal stuff.
Yeah, that dude puts out a new project every 7 to 8 weeks, and I just don't care.
Yeah.
Not even a little.
Yeah. So I think what happened is just happenstance. Right, the Crue's last show ends, and a few weeks later, maybe I'm fuzzy on the dates, but within a few months, GNR reunites, sells out the most shows ever, makes the most money ever over a couple of years. It's already the biggest grossing tour of all time.
Yeah.
This is still technically the same Guns N' Roses tour from 2016 now.
GNR played a stadium in St. Louis. And just to be clear, we're the number 20 or 28. So I don't know, some number in the 20s.
Something low. Sorry.
Major fucking league. Clear?
Sure.
No. Anyway, we don't get a lot of stadium shows. And not only did GNR play a stadium show in St. Louis, they played the football stadium.
Where they were banned for many years, by the way, from the riot they caused. Just mentioning that they were banned.
Do we need to talk about it?
No, but I'm just saying they were banned for many years, and they still came back to sell out a football stadium.
A football stadium. Who's going to go? Wife said we could go on one condition. I could find a hotel room downtown. Sure. Think about that for a second. We lived at that point in time 1.8 miles from downtown.
You're not trying to get out of that show and come home.
And it wasn't worth it to drive home.
Yeah, I get it.
So, did not find one, did not go.
So Crue retires, Guns comes back, makes a boatload of money, and I'm sure the Motley guys were like, what do we do? Why do we do this? Look at the money these guys are making. We'll just sit out for a few years and come back. Maybe they'll go away and we'll come back. There's the never-ending rivalry between GNR and Motley Crue. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm gonna say. I think the only reason Crue is back now is because they thought, and they did see dollar signs. Of course, if you have to have 5 or 6 bands of this magnitude on this tour, you're not making all that much money. You're splitting the money with everybody.
Well, I mean, if you have an average ticket price of $100, which probably in 2022 is a reasonable number, and you are pulling in 45 to 60,000 a night, Motley Crue is probably pocketing 2.5 a night. They're the headliner.
They are the co-headliner with Def Leppard. So
whatever.
They're not the headliner. They're splitting the money in half with Def Leppard at least. And Poison and Joan Jett are not buy-on bands. They are paid to be there. So they're getting a guarantee and a payment every night.
Joan Jett is interesting because I saw her with Styx in Tesla.
That's interesting.
Which makes no sense.
Well.
And now she's with the hair bands.
Which also makes misogynistic.
Also makes no sense.
Oversexed hair bands, while Joan Jett is like a feminist punk icon. But still, big rock songs. That's what they have in common. Big riffs, big songs.
Let me also say, when Joan Jett played with Styx, she's like, here's my songs, fuck you, goodbye.
Yes.
And you know what? It was awesome.
She pleasure fucked the crowd with her riffs and guitar. She's incredible. I got to touch her briefly a couple of years ago. I touched her on the arm.
Oh, Jesus.
Just on the arm as she walked by me.
No.
All right.
No.
Just telling you.
Oh, God, you don't.
Anyway.
This is recording.
Yeah, so I didn't say anything wrong or lewd. She passed by and I gave her like an arm. Bash Brothers, calm down.
Oh, well, if it's Bash Brothers, you know what they call me?
Jose!
They call me Jose! And I'm Mark.
Yeah, you yelled so loud you overrode your microphone. Try not to do that again.
I'll lean back.
Lean back. Joe Crack. So that's the only reason Crue is back, is money. And
completely money.
These shows are already a disaster Vince can't sing. Tommy's ribs are broken because, depending on who you believe, he either fell up a flight of stairs or Vince beat his ass for fat shaming him. I'm going to go with the latter. That sounds more plausible.
I have a hard time believing that fat as fuck Vince Neil could beat Tommy's ass.
I'm just telling you, if I got
I
the
don't think he
surprise,
could catch him.
He didn't have to catch him. He jumped on him and broke his ribs. I'm telling you, it seems very reasonable to me. Vince is the toughest guy in Motley Crue historically. He's the tough guy of all of them. Mick talks like a tough guy, but he's like an old man physically, so no, a hard wind will knock him down. Nicky, is in good shape, probably the best shape of his adult life, but again, he's also like, a new dad at 60. He has no energy to
Wait, he's another kid?
He just had a baby like a year ago.
Jesus Christ.
With his 20-something-year-old wife.
Jesus Christ.
And he's 61.
No!
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
He did the Tony Randall from The Odd Couple at like 84 with his 19-year-old wife had a baby.
If you're not watching YouTube, died. If you...
Anyhow, Nick is dying over here visualizing Tony Randall having sex. Anyhow.
I visualized Tony Randall at 80 finger fudging Nikki 6 at 65.
Well, that's way too far. Anywho, and I left out Tommy, who's just like a walking disaster.
Just
Tommy.
Leave him.
In credit to the band, and in credit to Tommy is give credit. They got Tommy Clufudos to come in and back up Tommy. I think last night, as we record this today, almost at the end of June, this will run in a few weeks probably. Tommy played his first full show of the tour, 10 shows in.
Oh, he
yesterday.
Did?
Finally played one full show by himself, but I think Clufudos, they gave him money to hang around just in case anything else happens. So he's just going to travel with the band and be ready to play every night.
Look, this is already so far off the rails.
No, it's fine. This is what this is.
No, I'm sorry. Yes, it is fine. This is we're talking about Motley Crue.
Yeah.
We could now spend the next 38 minutes discussing all of the terrible things they have done.
Sure. Or good things they've done. Let's take it back to the beginning. I will let you. How much of the backstory do you want to give on the band before we talk about?
Okay, we've talked about the tour. They're going broke, so they're doing it. I assume they're going broke because from what I understand, they absolutely cannot stand each other, as evidenced by Vince injuring Tommy to the point where he can't play.
Yeah, Tommy's wife said he fell up a flight of stairs. I just don't believe that dude falls up a flight of stairs. I fall up a flight of stairs. I'm old and roly-poly. That dude is old, but not roly-poly.
That's a statement. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't understand.
So let's talk about the beginning. Nikki Sixx was in a band called London.
London is a fascinating band.
We probably should do a series on London. I will have to learn more than I already know.
Oh, I'm ready to go with facts if you want them, but I really want to let you talk. I just want to say that London. We talked a lot in the Quiet Riot series about the history of the Sunset Strip and how Quiet Riot was actually one of the last bands to get signed, but the first band with a big hit of that scene, just logistically.
Interesting scene.
Right, very interesting scene. So London is a band that kind of started in the mid-'70s, and everybody was kind of on it, or in that band.
Everyone was in that band.
Everyone was in that band. And it is wild because I'm going to tell you why. That band was like the farm team.
Yeah, they were the AAA of the Sunset Strip.
And that's even mentioned if you've ever seen
we've all seen it.
The Decline of Western Civilization.
Deuce.
Part 2.
Deuce.
The Chris Holmes movie, basically.
Oh my God.
I hate that guy, and I don't want to talk much about him.
Walking on.
I'm not a big fan of his band that is also returning.
He's not in it, I don't think.
He is not in it anymore.
I don't fucking care because I don't care about that band.
So London, right? This is the greatness of London. This is the list of people who have been in the band London. Nikki Sixx, Blackie Lawless, Izzy Stradlin, Fred Coury of Cinderella. Steven Adler tried out and was told he sucked, and then he came in later as an emergency fill-in. And Slash, among dozens of other guys, famous and not famous, LA famous and world famous, who were all members of this band at one point or another.
Yet no one has heard of them. Except
most people did not hear of this band until they read the book The Dirt or they saw the movie The Dirt, which you also alluded to at the very
only
top.
the people that are listening to this podcast or watching this video have heard of these people.
But that is a phenomenal amount of people to come through, to like have come through their ranks of a mostly unknown band.
I know, and they said that in the movie. That they're like, everyone has been here. They come here, then they go be great things. And I'm like, but what about you?
Yeah. They're still around as of a couple of years ago.
Know what? Another series we could do is we could do an entire fucking series on that movie.
We should do a rewatch and a review of the movie. That would be kind of fun. Maybe we'll watch it together.
It'd be a chaser.
It'd be a good chaser. Netflix has a thing, the party mode, where you watch with people in different locations. All right, so London happens. Six leaves. He meets Tommy. They start to form what becomes Motley Crue. They have a third guy that sucks. They get in Mars. They got everything but the singer. They get Vince. Vince looks great. Seems like he sounds great, but really he's not a good singer compared to anybody else on the strip. As
an old timey ugly sumbitch who's never been really attractive except for like 3 years in the late 90s, and that might not even have been true. I could have been lied to. Vince Neil was a fucking sexy gentleman.
Good looking, almost looked like a babe, but a very good looking dude.
Yeah, I mean, when I went to my cousin's house, who were for a long time my musical senpais, that's where I found out about Merciful Fate. So Angwar, wow, that's a lot. Anywho, I looked at their copy of Shout at the Devil. It was the cassette tape, not the vinyl version. And I went, why are you listening to a band of chicks? Probably didn't say chicks because it was 1984, but I mean, Vince Neil was extraordinarily attractive, and the rest of them cleaned up enough for a photo shoot. And that's amazing, especially when you consider Vince Neil now, who I am way more attractive than. So in the end, who wins except your millions of dollars?
In fairness to Vince, because we're gonna dump
all over
acres of shades.
Acres
of shade all over.
Hectakers.
Deservedly so. But I will say this, like, why he made it, and we didn't, but why he made it in music so far. He did come out of the gate. He had been singing a lot of his life. He had been on stage a lot, so he had stage presence. He had charisma. He was good looking. He got all the rock moves. He looked like a rock star. He walked like a rock star. He acted like one. And I think that went a long way into his selling his image that overshadowed his very marginal talent on his best days. And the rest of the guys helped make up for that. Now coupled with the fact that Nicky is brutally aggressive and his favorite band is Kiss, and he's super idolizes Gene and Paul, and he's got a ruthless work ethic when he's not on drugs, and Tommy, being a buffoon or not, he is one of the greatest drummers ever, period, full stop.
The thing about Vince is he was discovered literally lip syncing at a roller rink.
That's amazing.
I don't know if it was Tommy or Nicky, and it doesn't matter because who cares. One of those dudes said to the other dude, this guy lip synced and got the ladies going. That's our boy.
Yeah.
Now, so
I think he went to high school with Tommy Lee.
I believe that is correct. They show in the movie The Dirt, they show him singing, and that's when they came up to him. No, it was a roller rink. And for those of us slightly younger, significantly younger than Keefe and myself, you don't recall how amazing the roller rink was on a Friday night. That's where I went every Friday night in my junior high years. doing my crossovers, squatting down so the ladies could look at my butt. They probably didn't because, I mean, I know what I looked like back then, and I would not be interested if I were a lady or a gay dude. But it was a big deal. So the roller rink in the early 80s, man, it was still disco. It was still roller rink sexy. And that was a big freaking deal. And yeah, if you think about that, a dude that's going to play, that is currently, as you listen to this, possibly singing to 50,000 people, was only there because he could lip sync lustfully in a fucking roller rink.
And it was
the
probably
people,
the Bay City Rollers or Andy Gibb. Not
shadow dancing.
Shadow dancing for eons and eons.
Okay, Dennis Leary.
Nothing good.
On and not even on inline, but on quad skates.
Mm.
And they
there
went.
Was no inline skates back then. Yes.
And they went. That's our boy.
Yeah, we had 3 roller rinks in a 5-mile radius of my house until I was 10 years old. So I know what you mean. And at that point, I'm going to shut up and let you take over and discuss kind of the formative. They get Vince in the band, and how do they get from there to Too Fast for Love?
All right, I need a hit pause, please.
Needs a break. This just to brace ourselves. We're gonna do some drugs and a bunch of drinks and some shots right now.
Look, I've already got another beer right here. I may grab another
ready.
one. It's gonna be a lot.
See you in a second.
So we are back, and I'm gonna drink this shit. I'm gonna drink it away, as my man James Legg would say. Gonna drink it away.
Is it possible to drink until they sound better?
No, I've tried. I tried in 2012. I've tried in 2014. I've tried in 24. I don't know. I've seen Motley Crue 3 times, and they have just been fuck terrible every time. I saw them on the tour with Samantha from Hole. And the problem is Vince was still there. And
she's quite a great drummer, by the way, Samantha Malone.
Spectacular. I did leave. It started raining, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I already saw Megadeth. Let's go.
Did you ever see them with Randy Castillo, rest in peace?
No. How long did he even play with them?
There was a stint where Tommy also quit the band.
Yeah. And Samantha took over for Randy because he was sick.
Sick with cancer, yeah.
He was on New Tattoo. And then he couldn't do the tour. And I was really excited to see Randy Castillo because I had never seen him.
A marvelous drummer.
I had seen Ozzy twice before that, but both times with Mike Borden. Or Puffy, if you saw the Faith No More tour. Or the Faith No More Glacier Musical Pouredcast series.
Because you can't have 2 guys named Mike in the band. Somebody's got to have a different nickname.
You could. Anyway, so let's talk about some Motley Crue. If we have to, because we're just going to avoid this if we can.
No, let's not. Let's go for it. Go for it.
So Motley Crue comes together. They become a thing, and no one will sign them. They get into fights with Metallica, literally, on the Sunset Strip in 81. They were much bigger than Metallica, so Lars ran away, significantly so. Don't blame him. No one signs them. Their label, Neil Cowan, I believe his name was, starts a label called Leather Records, which
it's Nikki who's and the manager who start the label to
whatever.
Put their own record out. Yeah,
it's a label that releases one record, which is by one of the owners. It doesn't matter. So
it's a good plan.
It's a good plan. They printed 900 copies of it.
For 1980, 81. I mean,
yeah, no complaints.
I made 1,000 copies of my one full length record in 2000. So and we also sold all those. So what do you know?
Better than me. So there you go. And so they go in and they record a record. Nikki writes most of it. One of these songs has a co-write from one of the members of London.
It's not a good song.
We'll get to that.
It's a leftover from London, and it wasn't even London's best song. But
What does that tell you? It's a London leftover.
Yeah, it's rough.
It is rough. That is Public Enemy #1.
Right. As you were, though. Continue.
Oh, God, I don't want to. Look, in fairness, Motley Crue does some great stuff. This is not it.
Most of it's not on this album.
No. It's just, this album has like 3 good tracks. I think that's about the right number.
And
then they put out a masterpiece, which we're not talking about this week. Sorry.
No, but we'll get there. We'll get there. You have to have the suck to get the good. So
there's no light without darkness.
Yes. And so they put this record out.
Oof.
They
sold all 900 copies. They did 3 pressings on vinyl, 1 pressing on cassette. Sold them all.
Mm-hmm. And then through sheer temerity and the fact that they just played, and live they were like bar band Kiss, setting shit on fire, jumping out of their skins, outrageous behavior.
Nikki was set on fire nightly.
Yeah, Nikki was set on fire nightly. He liked it. They get signed to Elektra, which is
Elektra,
who also signed Metallica a year
later.
A year later, before Metallica. A year earlier, excuse me. So they.
How do you even work that out in your brain?
So they go in and they re-record some of the album and re-sequence the album as a major.
Oh, and you can tell where they re-record that stuff.
You can. And some stuff should have been.
Should have re-recorded the whole fucking thing.
Should have re-recorded the whole thing because it's sonically not good too.
The guitar tone sounds like my band's demo, which was recorded on a JVC boombox.
Yeah. So beside all that,
and they recorded it in 4 days. No producer.
Well, the first time there's no producer. When they go back in to re-record it, the label is like, who would you, if you had a wish list of who you want, who could you get? And because Nicky is insane and he dreams big dreams, and bless his heart in a positive way for dreaming big dreams, he says Roy Thomas Baker, because he produced most of the Queen records. And Elektra gets him Roy Thomas Baker to come in and listen to what they did. He gave them some notes and he left. And they still called him a producing consultant on the record.
And what did Doc McGee say about Nikki Sixx? He is not a musician. He is an entertainer.
Fair enough. I think he is a musician. That one we'll talk about why later.
Maybe later.
Not now.
At this point, the producer calls Doc McGee, and they got Doc McGee to produce them. Now, in fairness,
well, Doc McGee doesn't come until later, much later. So he's
not
involved with them now. Yeah, he's not involved with them till Theater of Pain.
Well, I'm gonna shut up then.
No, it's fine. It's fine. They had their early managers running the band. Cowan is one of them, and and let's say Nicky is a de facto co-manager because it's his vision that everybody is following anyway. So no, it's all good. Let's just quickly. Which version of the record do you have?
I listened to the Elektra version. I don't actually have a copy of it.
Okay, that's fine. Let's do
and based on what I heard today, I don't really think I need one.
Yeah, let's do the Elektra version, which came out half a year later.
Like 82, yeah.
So really within 2 years of forming, with 2 years of getting Vince, they have a demo, they have Too Fast for Love. They are signed to Elektra. They re-record a third of that record and re-put it out on Elektra again with a new pressing. That's 4 versions of the first album. And they're already on their way to writing the next one, which is the good one. So let's just quickly and mercifully run through the track listing very quickly. And I will tell you which 3 songs I think are good and the rest you can throw away. And you and I probably agree, or maybe with one song apart. I have a feeling we're definitely going to be two for 3.
I'm going to be honest. I'm not sure I have 3 looking at the track listing. So it starts off with Live Wire. What can you say more about that track? Great song, great riff. Tommy Lee, and you're not going to hear me, jerk Tommy Lee's cock too much on this series because, enough people have already done it, and we've all seen that on video, unfortunately. And I'm sorry, I apologize, but just gonna say, since I brought up Tommy Lee's dick, tried to watch the Pam and Tommy Lee series when the wife was out of town, and she wouldn't hate me for watching it. And then the Winter Soldier is talking to Tommy Lee's dick, and I went, you know what? No.
They were gonna get Chris Evans to voice the dong. I think that would have been amazing. Or Ryan Reynolds.
The moment when a man was speaking to his own penis, I went, I'm walking out. I'm done with this. I no longer require this.
It's actually a pretty decent, it's a pretty well done, pretty decent show. Much better than the Sex Pistols series. That's horrible.
That's great, but I can't get past a dude talking to his own penis and his penis talking back.
Yes. Dude, we gotta do this. She's hot. Unbelievable. Yeah, I agree.
Done.
Livewire, great song, great opening track. If you had to pick like the top 20 Motley Crue songs, Livewire is still on it.
Top 5.
Yeah, well, No Notes, great song. That's the potential of this band. You see it right away in Livewire. What they could be. They're rarely what they are, but what they could be is great.
Completely agreed. This is the ultimate Motley Crue lyrics as well. About nothing, but you don't notice.
None of their songs are about anything until 3 albums from now.
Right. But sometimes you notice, like they get to the next track, which is Come On and Dance.
Bad song.
I don't know. That is not the level this is. I don't know how to describe whatever the fuck this is. This is Come On and Dance. I mean, I don't know. I
don't imitate these songs.
Right,
the only one worth singing is Livewire, and neither of us can really do justice.
Moving on. Public Enemy number 1. The London Leftover.
The Leftover from London. I got that gray guy some pennies.
You know what I can say? My leftovers when I take them to lunch are fine. But I'm not going to charge you for a whole record to listen to it or to have a taste. This song is fuck terrible. It is an insult to music everywhere.
And funny enough, they think they are Public Enemy number 1, I guess. They're building their own reputation that doesn't exist yet, but okay.
I hate myself for listening to this twice today.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, but okay.
Oh, no, it gets better. Merry-Go-Round.
Oh.
What the ass is this?
Well, I'll tell you what the ass this is. Merry-Go-Round is one of 2 songs on this album completely out of tune. So badly out of tune musically, not just vocally, but musically. So, like, again, I understand that, like, they produced it themselves the first go through, but no one in the room, no one recording, no one running the deck was like, dude, your guitar's out of tune, your voice is out of tune, this song is terrible. Like, no one stopped them. Just, like, take the money, record whatever they do. So shitty.
Fuck terrible. Now, let's go to the next track. Take Me to the Top. Holy shit. You're putting your dick in the vacuum.
Oh, okay. I think Take Me to the Top is a good song. It's like one of the good ones.
Okay, fair enough. I looked at the track list.
I don't know what the top. Take Me to the Top of what? I assume success, rock and roll, L.A., Hollywood, whatever. But, like, okay, so the song is meaningless, but, like, it's catchy and it's kind of heavy. So I didn't hate it.
I hate myself for listening to this.
Okay.
Moving on. It gets way worse. Flip it over. Flip the record. Slit your wrist, because here we go. Piece of Your Action. I don't want to unpack these lyrics because I'm scared to know what that is. On top of that, Vince is in the key of L.
He's in the key of not.
No, he's in the key of Quickset.
Yeah, he can't hold a pitch.
No, not
at all.
Oh my god,
this is way.
This is a failure on a level I cannot describe.
Remember the Metal Massacre Chaser and the
Mhm.
Rat song that is like one of their first demos ever, and it sounds immaculate.
It's the best song they ever did.
But it's also recorded beautifully and
Yeah.
played well and sung
Oh, yeah.
beautifully well. None of these are that. None of
No.
these. Not even the best one are that. So just
Yeah.
point that out. Not to do that. Again, we're not trying to punch down. We will give them praise when they deserve it.
We're not punching down. We're punching up. They're
It is.
playing
They're playing
stadiums.
right into it. Yeah, that's true. So that song's terrible.
We're not talking about a band playing a 150 club here. We're talking about somebody playing 60,000 seat stadiums nightly.
Yeah. So that song sucks.
Oh my God, it's awful. It is
Starry
awful.
Eyes sucks worse.
Oh, I know.
And then I'm gonna it's so bad. I know they were trying to be like that was like a thing to be like the sincere rock.
Look, my
song.
sincere response to this is wanting to cut toes and fingers off while it plays, so I don't notice the song as much.
Right. Here's an assertion I'm gonna hit you with, and you tell me if I'm way off the mark on this.
Probably
The
not.
title track is one of the worst title tracks I can think of on a record. Just me and my whole history listening to music. It's such a bad song. I don't know why they chose it.
I know why they chose it. It's the best song on the record.
No, it can't be. It's a horrible song.
What?
First of all, it's a terrible. It's an amateurish, like children played it. It's played bad. The guitar
Yeah.
riff is bad.
Nothing
The
on this
vocal is
record is
attitude.
played well.
That's not true because Tooth's Live Wire and Take Me to the Top are played well. So you know what they're capable of. Too Fast for Love's a badly written song with out-of-tune, terrible vocals. It changes key unintentionally, and the riff is garbage. So tell me what's good about this being the best track. Where? How?
Wow, you hurt my soul
This song's terrible.
because this is my haven
The only song
in
I
this
believe-
record. This is like my late cousin Jamie and I
Well, rest in peace.
would mosh to this song before moshing was a thing.
And it's got a good beat.
In the room
It's not
where
that
I melted the Millennium Falcon.
Why?
Because I didn't know any better. My mother left matches in her room and whatever. Things happened.
Nick the Pyro.
I mean, I was listening to a lot of Pyromania back then, like
Okay.
literally.
That's
So
also fair. This is a year before Pyromania. But you might have had them at the same time. I think it's a terrible song. You love the song. Okay, that's
Wow.
one of the rare ones where we're way apart.
that does not happen often. That's
But
why you're the sunset shimmer to my twilight sparkles,
All right, pal.
Brony.
And then on with the show to close it is
Fuck that. Oh, Jesus
not a good
Christ.
song, but to me less horrible than the one before it. But okay.
That I would no.
The problem with On with the Show is everything. But
Agreed.
it's less offensive than, let's say, the other songs on this side of the record.
Are you on the marijuana?
I'm not. I'm just the beer and coffee. But anyway,
Marijuana coffee? I mean, because I have no idea how you can think that On with the Show is not.
all right.
I'm angry. I am
Well,
angry. We're gonna fight over this, but
We're not. It's not worth
no,
fighting.
I know we're not because this
We're
is
not.
awful.
But anyway, this album somehow catapulted them, especially once on Elektra, they started to like clock dollars and tour the world, which is hard to believe.
How?
I don't know how. I mean, the glam
This
was,
is
Quiet
a
Riot.
bad record.
Quiet Riot has a hit. Rat is not out yet. Poison is not out yet. See, it's Def Leppard is out, but they're not quite where they are yet. Where we think of them.
This is terrible.
It's a pretty bad
This record is objectively awful.
It's a D with Livewire being awesome.
Yeah, I know. It's got two good songs in my world.
People love this record, man.
I know.
It's been reissued 4 times. Not
Why?
just the first 2 we talked about. It was reissued in 2003 and again last year for the 40. Crew is reissuing and remastering everything vinyl for the first time.
For the
Full
love of God,
remasters.
do
Don't
the John
remaster this
Corabi
shit.
record.
I doubt it. They are very...
I know,
and
but
he's
I
not
want
doing
it.
himself any favors with them either. Have you ever heard the cover they did for the reissue? The Raspberries cover, Tonight.
No.
which is a far better song than every other song on here.
Oh God. Uh, Look, I want to be angry. I want to say you're wrong. This is a great record because when I was 9, but I listen to this and go, shit. There's nothing. You got Livewire.
You like Too Fast for Love, and I like Take Me to the Top. So like, there's 3. At least collectively we agree on 3 songs.
We'll call it 2.
All right.
It's like 9 tracks, and there's 2
really good ones, and then the rest are so bad, bad.
Oh, I know. It's fuck terrible. This is the kind of terrible where if you pissed in your face, it's about as good as Take Me to the Top. I'm sorry. I that's the only one I could remember at that moment.
That's really mean.
Okay. How about this?
Let's talk about the front.
Hang on. How about this? If you pissed in your face, it's not quite as good. Actually, it's a little bit better than Come On and Dance.
Yeah, no. I don't know. It's really a stretch, dude. That song is horrifying.
So what's better? Pissing in your own face or Come On and Dance?
I would rather piss in my own face.
We're having fun.
We're trying to. We have to make a bad situation good. It's the same old situation when you talk about Motley Crue. And this is just episode 1, everybody. So here's a question that has fascinated me for all of these 40 years. Whose junk is on the front cover? Whose non-existent crotch is that on the front? Who thought it was a good idea to put micro penis guy? It's probably Vince.
Can I say something terrible?
I'm not trying to dick shame anybody. I'm not.
No, it looks like a lady's crotch.
It could be, and we all thought they were chicks anyway.
I did think they were chicks when I saw
they were ladies. We'll say ladies to be respectful. As an assault on women in this country, I thought they were all ladies, women.
It looked like women,
and it doesn't seem that.
I did wonder why the blonde-haired woman didn't have a shirt on. And that's small boobies.
It wasn't Wendy Williams, that's for sure. When she has a shirt off, you knew all about
it. You know.
But yeah, so the cover's weird, but of the time, leather and spikes.
No, it's
glam.
a homage. It's a homage to the Rolling Stones record.
Sticky Fingers.
Except that record had balls. That literally had balls.
Yeah, and it's also great.
I'm not trying to be misogynist or whatever, but you could see the nutsack.
I mean, we just appreciate male genitalia on the Relation
Apparently we do.
Show me the real package or don't show me anything.
Look, give me the total package or give me Ric Flair. You can't do both.
Woo!
Woo! Total package.
So yeah, there's not much else
Lex
to say.
Luger.
This thing is brutal.
Oh, God.
In not a good way.
Quick break, please. Sidebar.
Oh, we can't get through it. It's amazing.
All right. We had to talk about something you'll hear next week. So let's talk about this in terms of, because I want to pad this out. Keefe does not. I'm going to try to engage him in more conversation because I hate myself. And so Motley Crue, frankly, surprisingly, weirdly, is one of the biggest bands in hair metal. We all know this. This was day 1. So, is Too Fast for Love better than 1400 by Bon Jovi or whatever the fuck it was called?
4400 Fahrenheit.
That's a terrible name. Is it better than that?
No.
All right. Is it better than On Through the Night?
Hell no.
All right. Is it better than Kill 'Em All?
No.
Oh. All right. Is it better than Look What the Cat Drag Did?
Also no.
Is it better than TNT.
You know, AC/DC?
Yeah,
No, I mean, we're not going to compare those things.
not fair. So this is better than no other debut album on record.
In that era, probably not. Very few.
Yet, this band goes on to be one of the biggest bands of all time. Being a Kiss fan as I am very well attuned to the concept of music and image. And as much as I hate to say it, most Kiss fans, including hardcore Kiss fans, care as much about fucking makeup as they do what comes out of their speakers. How in the fuck did this happen?
Um,
You don't know, do you?
I really don't. We were all on drugs, probably.
I mean,
I
seriously,
was heavily medicated as a
this
teen.
record is awful.
But they improved a lot on the next one, and that's
This
the difference.
record is as bad as Asylum or Animalize.
So,
How do you start with an F?
and sell 100 million records. It is
Right.
baffling. It's mind blowing. That's the 80s. The 80s
It
was all
doesn't
about that.
make
You
any
You had
sense.
Reagan come in after the 70s on a wave of optimism and ruin the country in ways that are still being felt. So,
But you know what? One thing Reagan did that modern conservatives won't do, he signed a 25-year extension of the Voting Rights Act. Come on, Mitch fucking McConnell.
fuck
Bitch.
that guy.
Bitch McConnell.
Bitch McConnell. Anyway, I think it speaks.
Sorry, we're all
It speaks
on
to
edge.
for Crew. It speaks to the fact that when they improved, when they lay a golden egg, is humongous.
Oh my
When
God,
they sell a record, they have one record that has like 20 million copies sold of a record, and they have
Which
another one
one?
that's 15. Well, Feel Good
Mm-hmm.
and Shout at the Devil are huge multiple platinum records.
Well, I mean, in fairness, that's the peaks
Yeah,
of this band.
But I'm saying, like, when they hit huge, and when they toured, they were a humongous spectacle live, and they sold out everywhere, and they were fun and entertaining and dangerous. Not really, but sort of looked dangerous and played like they were dangerous, and they were managed impeccably, especially when Doc McGee took over. And some of the stuff in the dirt is true, and some of it's an exaggeration, but they rocked harder than most when they had to, and when they succeeded in spite of themselves, they did it incredibly well. So we will give credit where credit is due other places. This isn't the place. This is not that record.
The fact that there was a second record.
That Elektra believed in them is a lot, man. They really were going out on a limb on things. It really speaks about them.
If I could opine for a moment, if you don't mind.
Sure.
In the 90s, they talked about how if you're on a major label, you had to sell 350,000 copies or goodbye. And in the 80s, it was different. In the 70s, it was different. In the 60s, it was very different. You know, the recording industry changes year by year, decade by decade. And if Livewire comes out in 1992, and I
Wouldn't have even heard it.
Oh, I don't mean a shitty hair metal record, but a record of that quality on a major label. That's all we've heard, and they get a bill.
I will say one thing. Motley Crue here on Too Fast for Love is not hair metal yet. They're not that glammy.
They're not good enough to be hair metal.
They're not good enough, but also they're not. They are really firmly ensconced in rock and heavy metal, and they're not hair metal yet. Other bands are doing hair metal before it was called hair metal at the same time as this album. So, fairness to them, they were not. They were trying to be tougher and rougher and harder than all the other softer bands they considered.
Yet, Come On and Dance.
Okay, fair, but I'm just saying, like, Livewire and other songs have an edge Whether their song is good or not, they're mostly not. But I'm saying like
Live Wire has a great double bass riff.
great riff, great double bass playing, great. Just hard. It's a hard. So it's got more. It's more in common with Motorhead than anything else. Like it's not.
You know, I'm actually gonna go ahead and agree with that.
Yeah.
It does have a lot in common with Motorhead. It is
in a good way.
Yeah,
They
very
love
much so.
Lemmy. They love
It is a riffy, it is a thunderous track, followed up by "Come On and Dance."
I know.
I'm sorry, I'm never gonna get past.
You don't have to get past it. We're doing it now. You don't have to get. We're at that moment. You don't have to get past it. It sucks.
I won't. I never will, because from now on, Motley Crue is "Come On and Dance."
Well, they erase that next time. So give them some credit.
All right.
And we
We'll
can
talk
we
about that
wrap it
next-
up? Because now I'm really over it. I'm over this episode. I'm over this band.
I
we
want
still
to
have 3
be.
more of these to do.
No, I think just 2.
Mm,
Next week is Shout and Theater, then Girls and Feel Good.
okay, you wanted to do one a week or something. That was you yelling at me a couple of
No,
bands ago. I only want to do 1 album a week because I can't do 2.
I know this band, so it's
Yeah. Okay.
if I have to get a new band, I can't do 2. If it's
Sure.
anyway. Anywho, so I will wrap my part up by saying, holy fuck, this record is bad. I had no idea how awful this was. It's fuck terrible. Do not buy it. Don't bother with it. Move on. But catch us next week.
Wow. We should have planned this better. Anyway,
But
I guess I'll take us home. It's my turn.
Fair. Hit it.
Thank you for listening or watching to the Glacially Musical Podcast. On behalf of my gracious and great co-host, Nick Cameron,
Thank you.
am Keefe of GhostCultMag.com. Follow me on all the socials at GhostCultMag or at GhostCultKeefe. You know where to follow Nick already, probably. And as we often say at this time of the show, it's the Glacially Musical Podcast, and it does not play in Peoria. And I have to shut it off, so there.